Hi guys, it's Carl here. So when I first started this Facebook group, I really wanted to create a safe platform where people could share their experiences privately and confidentially. But I also wanted it to be an open platform so all different estrangement parties could chime in, get some support, and share their experiences. And I knew from the start that there was always going to be a risk that people would be personally affected by some of the content or by some of the posts. And that happened today, I thought it might have happened sooner, so I'm surprised it took this long for it to actually happen. Now, the post in question was someone sharing a letter that was addressed to an adult daughter from a parent trying to reach them. And I completely understand the negative responses to that letter. And as somebody who is estranged from a parent who completely deflected all the issues back onto me, throughout our entire relationship, I get it. It can really trigger a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and a lot of guilt. And that's a natural human response. And then when we feel these emotions, it's human nature to personalize the contents, whatever it is. In this case, it's a letter, and then project our experiences onto this. Again, that's life. Everybody does it to some extent. And I think particularly the wording of the letter, there was a "wake up, my child," is it was a line that was in it. I can understand that may be condescending, and maybe an insinuation that you need to wake up instead of parent needs to wake up. So I understand people's frustrations with it. But again, my job is to try to maintain balance and see all different perspectives. And with my work, I've worked with very decent parents, parents who worked very hard with their kids. But unfortunately, the kids, when they grew up, they went down a different path, a very destructive path, and that led to the estrangement. And the parents legitimately tried their best to help their adult children, but they couldn't reach them. But then I've also met many parents who have just projected completely unconsciously their own emotional reality and their own emotional history onto their relationship with their kids, whether they're young kids or adult children. And they're completely biased. They're unable to see themselves. They're unable to see what they're doing because they're just acting out. And in many cases, they are legitimately baffled as to how this happened. They don't understand it. And I don't feel like judging them is going to help anything. Again, the purpose of this group is education. And I actually welcome parents to come on, look at the stories from adult children, and that might broaden their own understanding of how they may be affecting other people. Because we need to educate each other, we need to communicate, we need to share all these different experiences, and it helps people to broader understanding of this problem. But really, the root of a lot of this comes down to our own emotional triggers, which we have to first learn to catch and be aware of them. And again, this is something that I had to do, and it took me years to do this. And I would have been triggered all over the place, watching films, watching TV, having conversations, memories from many, many years ago might just pop into my head and make an association from something from the past with something that's happening in the present. And I would feel this overwhelming sense of anger, of guilt, of shame, of fear. And the work that I had to do was processing all of these emotions in the present. And I was able to create a healthier separation then from the past and the present. But that means then that I can talk to people about their estrangement, or I can listen to their stories, and I'm less triggered myself. And this is work that we all have to do, and it's a process of individuation, where we can become separate from what has happened to us. And it's really important part of it. And I can read the letter that was posted and not be triggered personally, because I know that letter wasn't meant for me. It wasn't written for me. It's for somebody else, and it's a different estrangement. So I'm not personalising. But again, I understand why people would respond that way. So the letter's still up there. I'm keeping it there because what it's done is it actually sparked an interesting debate. You see some people. The letter has resonated with some people. Some people feel like it was worded very nicely, and some people feel like that it just connects with how they're experiencing or how they're feeling. Maybe they are estranged from their adult kids. At the same time, I'm conscious that other people are negatively triggered by it, and I've no intention of trying to hurt anybody in this group or triggering anybody in a negative way. It was never the goal of this group at all. But we have to be able to work on these experiences, learn to sit with them, and express how you feel, which you have every right to do that. But again, sit with it and let it process, let it work through it over, and maybe it dissipates. Maybe people come back and read the letter with a different set of eyes, a different perspective, or maybe slightly less triggered. So look, I'm here as always. Anybody, I'm always thinking of you guys. I'm working on so many things. I don't get to put up content as much as I'd like. It's interesting. This week I was prepping a video on who is responsible for the estrangement. So I'll try and get that up later in the week. But if you have any questions, just reach out to me, guys. I'm always here. If I can help, I absolutely will. There's projects, there's work happening in the background, which I'll be sharing with you guys pretty soon. So as always, mind yourselves. and lean on the group. If you have any questions or you need any help, just let us know. Thanks a million, guys. Take care.